What is going on, everyone? It is another day in paradise, and we got the boys here today. Mr. Donald's back from Japan. How was it?
It's good.
It's fucking awesome, man.
It was different. They're different out there.
Yeah, they are. Fucking, I'll move out there right now. If someone gave me a chance.
I wouldn't move out there.
You wouldn't?
No.
Really?
Great place to visit. Would I live there? I love it here.
Oh man, I think I'd live there in a little country house with all the cars. I would do it. I'm just too obsessed with cars, I think. And Mr. Ant, what are we working on here?
We're gonna see if we can get this diff out of the housing.
Yeah, so here's a little present I got from one of my buddies. This is supposedly a Nismo LSD in an S13 R200 case. Now, the problem is, look at the gears. They're shredded on it. So I'm hoping that the diff is salvageable. I think it is. And they do sell rebuild kits for these Nismo diffs. So, worst case scenario, we could rebuild it, but I'm hoping it doesn't even need that because all the pieces ended up in the bottom of the diff. So what we're doing is pulling the pumpkin out, and then I'm not going to use any of that. I just want the pumpkin itself. I'm going to take the gear set off because it's fucking shot anyways. And then I'm going to be on the hunt for an R200 setup for the Silveria. So, we got ourselves a diff. I don't know exactly what it is. It could be a one-way, 1.5, two-way. We don't know. So that's what we're here to find out today. So I'm going to throw some gloves on because this gear oil stinks and it's everywhere. Can't wait to get this out of my shop. I came in the shop today and it just stunk of high heaven.
Look like how blown it is, show 'em.
So, yeah.
Spin this, that doesn't even spin.
Oh, yeah, there's no contact left whatsoever. But let's get some gloves on and try and get this pumpkin out. That's today's goal. Alright, so I guess it wasn't that hard to take apart. Look at the destruction in there. That's bad.
What was this thing?
This was an LS.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ. Seizures. Hold it down. There you go. No, it's still on. Just hold it. There you go. So this was in a S13 with an LS3? Something like that. Some kind of LS motor. And this was before it went turbo. It's in the process of being turboed. So I guess it didn't hold up too well. The story is it didn't get put together right. So it wasn't lashed right. And that's why it self-destructed like that. Because if you do a diff correctly, especially with a nice Nismo LSD in there, it's not going to shred like that. Someone didn't set the clearances on this and they fucked it up. So hopefully the actual diff itself is not fucked up. Some more stuff going down in the shop. I dug my 350X out of storage. So I had started building this thing to race flat track with. This was pre-COVID, and there was a couple tracks around here that we were able to flat track these trikes. I don't have the flat track axle on it right now. The flat track axle is longer on one side. It's got an extension, so you can hit the corners. It's like a big oval that we race on. But I had started building this thing, and it's actually like, I went all out. This thing's race ready, the chassis at least. Suspension's all done. It's got a 10-inch front wheel, which they're usually 11-inch. So there's only like one or two companies that make a 10-inch wheel so you can run the actual like street flat track dirt style tire. We got the American Racing flat track tires in the back, all new bearings and bushings. And I stripped this frame down to bare metal and just completely bare. And we did a full gusset kit on it. So if you can see, there's gussets everywhere. They're all over the place. That's not factory. That one's not factory. These frames crack heavily right in this section. The whole gusset kit comes with a big piece that goes over the frame and welds in to reinforce that. The rear is known to crack. So there's a plate underneath here that basically boxes this whole thing in. There's just gussets everywhere. Here, you know, the whole frame is gusseted everywhere. Up on the head tube, there's like 4 gussets. Down there, there's like something like 32 gussets we added to this frame, and on top of the reinforcements on the seat latch and on the side frame rails. So the frame is ready for anything, because these frames are known to crack when you go real heavy with them. So this one will not crack now. This one is strong as an ox. I got this far with building the whole thing, and I was almost done building the motor. So this trike is an 85. And then I had an 86 motor, I still have it, an 86 motor, which they only made these in 85 and 86. And the 86 engine is supposedly a little bit more refined. There's not much different between them, but I had the 86, so I took the motor out of it. So I got the better of the two. It's got like different routing for the clutch. It's got different electronics in it. And the VIN number tells you it's an 86. That's really it. But I had the better of the two, so I kept the 86 bottom end. 86 jug, had it bored. Did a 12.5-to-1 compression piston. So that's the whole top end's already done. Aftermarket clutch setup in it. And then I got to the head, and I had some problems with the head. It was repaired before, didn't like that. Got another head that was in a bike that sat, didn't like the way the insides looked. So I could drop that head off to the machine shop, let them redo the whole thing, and just slap it on and be good with a nice mega cam, or we'll do an aftermarket cam in it as well. But that's gonna cost a couple $100 minimum, and there's a mint head on eBay for like $250. So I think I'm just gonna buy the mint head, throw a fresh set of valve seals in it, clean the valves up myself with a little bit of lapping compound, and throw it on and call it a day. Because we are not gonna be competitive with this thing, because after COVID, the tracks shut down, and when they opened back up, they said no trikes. So this whole build is basically out the window. But it's super cool, so I'm still gonna finish it. I'm probably not going to put the extended axle on now. That saves me, you know, $500 to $700. I'm just gonna leave it even on both sides, maybe space it out a little bit more. Maybe just still put a Durablu axle on it so it's wider. And the rear end needs to come down a little bit so it's squat a little more. Put the engine in, heat wrap the pipes, and even if I just keep this thing for a cool thing to rip down the street once in a while, when we have our fires and springtime comes, just fuck around with this thing, have some fun with it, so be it. I'll never sell the thing. I have way too much money into it, and it's mine. I love 350Xs. Another thing I got that you guys might have seen the background of my last port run video was I picked up a Harley. So I know a couple of you guys have asked if I'm still into BMX bikes and collecting old school bikes and whatnot, and the answer to that, unfortunately, is not really. This last year, the market came down on them heavy, and people still wanted, like, this shit was just getting harder and harder to find. I kind of made my collection that I was happy with, and over the past year, I haven't ridden any of them. So it was time to, I'm into so many different things that I just got bored with it, essentially. I kept my bigger bikes for me to ride. I still have a bunch of bikes, and I still kept a couple of them. I got my 83 GT up there. I got my S&Ms over there. And I have my 95 S&M dirt bike over there. But that's about it. So I got rid of all the high dollar ones. I unfortunately got rid of the Torker. That's one I did not want to get rid of. But this guy with the Harley offered me this Harley for a couple old school bikes. So I gave him like 6 old school bikes, and he gave me a fucking Harley that's like all done up. So it's an 03 Road Glide. And like, it's got a ton of shit done, a ton of chrome. I have it all apart right now because I'm changing a bunch of stuff on it. I'm not a big fan of the ape hangers, so we're taking the apes off. I got the seat off, and I'm actually probably going to change the paint work as well. But I mean, It's got 18-inch front and rear Arlen Ness wheels. It's got chrome everywhere. It's got Reinhardt exhaust. The rear bags are extended in the back. And it's got this whole setup back here that extends everything down. It had all these lights and everything on it, but I took it all off. I like it better just the clean look. But we are getting this thing ready to rock. You know, like I said, I have it all apart right now. Had an alarm system in there, so I'm ripping the alarm system out because it did nothing but give you issues. But I mean, it's got the billet brakes on it, aftermarket brake rotors. The wheels alone are like $4 grand. Harley shit is just outrageously expensive. It's got this thing up here I have off for the time being. But like, it's got a lot of stuff. Look at all the chrome on top of my toolbox too. Like, this is all stuff that a lot of it has to go back on, but a lot of it I also took off. Yeah, I mean, if you're trading me a sweet fucking Harley for some BMX bikes, then I'm gonna do it. So I did it. It's got a clean title, and I now have a Harley Davidson. I'm not really a Harley guy, but it'll be nice to cruise something next year. And the street bikes are getting a little hard on the back. So if you guys are interested in seeing me redo this bike, I will put that up on my channel. Another thing, I told you guys I wasn't a huge fan of my TC 105Ns on the Sylvia. I don't know why. I couldn't put my finger on it, but they just did not look right. They didn't feel right. I don't know. I didn't like them. Everyone else likes them. I like the wheels themselves. I love TC 105Ns. I just did not like them on my car for some reason. So I kept them. I'm not getting rid of them, but I did change up the wheels on the S14. And this is not a permanent setup, but it's just a for now setup. And I did not adjust the suspension or the spacings on them yet. I just kind of threw them on to see how they looked. But we did get a set of R33 wheels. They're not the OEM wheels. They are the squares, which I actually prefer because they are a 17x9 with a plus 15 offset, so they have a little bit of a lip on them, versus the OEM ones, which don't. But I actually do like this setup more than the TC 105s. All right, I'm getting kind of pissed now. Just spent an hour washing this thing, and I pulled up to dry it off, and a bird shit right on the door. Cleaned it off, no big deal. And now a bird shit on the window, and a bird shit on the rear door as well. And there's no fucking birds anywhere. There's no birds. This car, the Crown right next to it, no bird shit on it whatsoever. 3 bird shits in fucking 5 minutes. With no birds in sight. What the fuck is going on? All right, that is gonna be it for the day. It's the end of the day. We got a good amount done. We got some new wheels on the S14. We got my truck all cleaned up because it was absolutely filthy. We got the birds to stop shitting on it. We got the trike out ready to go. We got the Harley being worked on. So we got a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. We got some more cars coming in soon. And we got some more builds happening. We got a lot of parts showing up. I'm not gonna show them to you yet because they're for the next car that's coming in. But you guys will see it soon enough. And that's gonna be a good little series putting that car together. I think it's gonna be really fun, and I think you guys are gonna like that car. But on that note, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram, MikeG203, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.